Geometry 1, Chapter 4, Topic 4. You should be able to apply a reflection across the x-axis, the y-axis, the line y equals x, and the line y equals negative x when given either an image or when given points. So, the first example here. Find the image of triangle ABC, where A is 3, 0, B is 2, negative 1, C is negative 3, 7, after a reflection across the x-axis. So in order to apply the reflection, you need to know the reflection rules. So from topic 3, which you're welcome to go back and watch that video, we have the list of the reflection rules. Across the x-axis takes point xy to x negative y, that is the second value switches signs. Across the y-axis, xy turns into negative xy. The first value switches signs. Across the line y equals x, xy turns into yx. That's a negative sign that's been crossed out. You switch order, and y equals negative x, xy turns into negative y negative x. They switch order and they switch signs. So what we need to know here is the rule for across the x-axis. Here the rule, xy turns into x negative y. So here's the rule. xy turns into x, comma, negative y. So what we have here are the three original points, A, B, and C. 3, 0, 2, negative 1, negative 3, 7. Basically going to make a little chart, each point individually. So notice A is going to turn into A prime, B is reflected to B prime, and C to C prime. X and X are the same. They don't change. So your X values actually don't change at all. They stay 3, 2, and negative 3. However, the Y values, notice Y turns into negative Y. That switches the sign. So 0 would turn into essentially negative 0, which is still 0. Negative 1, when you switch the sign, turns into a positive 1. And 7, when you switch the signs, turns into a negative 7. We have our A prime, B prime, and C prime right there. The X values stay the same. The Y values, if they were positive, turn into negative, and if they were negative, turn into positive. Now when given pictures, or images, I handle them about the same way. So reflect the images below across the x-axis for the first, across the y-axis for the first one, and the line y equals negative x for the second. So we have a quadrilateral, we have a triangle, and we go back to our rules. So this first one, we need to reflect across the y-axis. That rule is xy turns into negative x, comma, y. So we write the rule down. xy turns into negative x, y. And we go through and we find our points. So point A is the point 3, 3. Point B is the point 8, 3. Point C is the point 8, negative 3. And point D is 6, negative 5. And we're going to apply the rule to each of them. A is going to turn into A prime, B turns into B prime, C turns into C prime, and D turns into D prime. Now notice, the first value, the X, goes from X to negative X. That is, it's switching signs. So 3, when you switch the sign, turns into negative 3. 8, when you switch the signs, is negative 8. 8, when you switch the sign, is negative 8 again. And 6, when you switch the sign, becomes negative 6. Commas between the points because we're ready for the Y value. But look at the Y value. It doesn't change. Y turns into Y. So your Y values are still 3, 3, -3, and -5. Now the final step is to go back to your picture and graph the points. -3, 3 is A prime. B prime is -8, 3. Now you are welcome to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but because they're numbered -2, -4, -6, -8, it is faster just to go to the -8 and then count up 3. So -8, -3, go to -8, go down 3. That's your C prime. And D prime is -6, -5, so -6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. D prime. Last step, connect them. To get your shape. Now for the second one, we have a triangle, ABC, and we need to reflect across the line y equals -x. So y equals -x. That's on our rule sheet. Y equals -x. This one, bottom one, where xy turns into -y, -x. That is, we switch the order of them and we switch the sign. So if they were positive, we make them negative. If they're negative, we make them positive. So the rule, xy turns into -y, -x. And we do the same thing we did before. We find our points. Point A is 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 6. B, all the way at 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 5. And C is a point 1, 1, 2, 3, over 1, right 1, up 3. And we apply the rules. So the rules, remember, xy turns into -y, -x. So they switch the order and they switch the signs. So A turns into A prime. We switch the order of the 2 and the 6. So that would become 6, 2. But then we also switch both of their signs. So it becomes -6, -2. B prime. We switch the order of 7 and 5, so that turns into 5 and 7. But then we switch the sign of both to get -5, -7. Finally, the point 1, 3, C turns into C prime. Switch the order, so the 3 comes first, but we also have to switch the sign, so -3, -1. Now you go back to your picture and you plot the points. -6, -2. So left 6 and down 2 is A prime. -5, -7. So we go left 5, down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. B prime. -3, -1, so left 3, down 1. C prime. And we connect them. That's the reflection of the image across the line y equals -x.